You good?
Together?
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
All right, Facebook. Charlie Sokaitis here with Chris Barriere. Going to break down a couple of our thoughts on what we saw there in the first half of this game. Chris, I'll start with the defense. Two specific plays. One we just saw was Kevin King breaking up a potential touchdown, using that size, really laying out, almost had the pick there, but really shows what he's going to be capable of doing that some of the other guys on that team just can't do via their size. They're not that big. He's 6'3". He can really make a play.
Absolutely. And, you know, the guys on the broadcast were saying this is an NFL caliber play. And what it also does is his margin of error is a little bit larger than everybody else's. As a rookie, you know, you're going to bite, you're going to make mistakes, but he's able to recuperate, recover a little bit faster than, you know, a different corner who's not as tall as, which is nice.
Well,
and he almost had the pick.
With receivers, a lot of times they talk about somebody's catch window, like their catch radius. Same thing with a cornerback, and he doesn't even have to always catch it, just being able to get the deflection. His radius is really big, and when you add that athleticism there, it's going to be something that over time they're going to be able to really take advantage of. The second one was the Bryce interception and his return for 42 yards. He did get beat on a few other plays after that, but a really nice play there by the safety, just a heads-up opportunity, and really took advantage. You know, got a couple blocks, made some nice cutbacks, and got down inside the 2, which led to a touchdown.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that, you know, head coach Mike McCarthy always talks about is stacking success, right?
Right.
And a guy like Bryce, who's made a, you know, a big impression in this preseason, McCarthy's mentioned multiple times that he's one of the guys who's had an incredible, you know, preseason. So in his eyes, that's exactly what you want. You want a guy to stack on that success. Right. Granted, he did get banged up a little bit in this game, and the balls come his way a lot. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, if he's still having a better game than a worse game. But that play itself, that's a huge play.
Two areas of concern on the defensive side of the ball. Then we'll transition to offense. But just two injuries that we saw. Elliott. Well, Nick Perry is out. Nick Perry has an ankle issue, and then Elliott, he is also out, and it looks like back spasms. He had that twice earlier this week. So that could be something that's reoccurring. Obviously, they felt okay putting him out there today, but then they had to bring him back out. Not sure how much of that is just precautionary or how much that might be something that's a lingering issue. Something they're going to have to watch, though, because that linebacker position, the outside linebacker with Beagle still not healthy, like they could be thin there if a couple of guys
all of a sudden,
are suddenly not around.
And that's one of the areas, too, we talked about a little bit in the pregame, is that's one of the areas on the defense that you still want to see some more pressure from. A little bit more on the pass rush. You'd like to see a little bit, you know, everybody keeps bringing up that Clay Matthews missed sack all the way back in week 1 against Carson Wentz, but they, you know, what have you done for me lately? And there hasn't been a lot of pressure from those outside linebacker guys. They're still getting their feet under them, but it's hard to build reps when you're hurt. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now let's transition to the offensive side of the ball. What did you like that you saw out of the Packers early? What didn't you?
Well, I think everybody can be pleased to see that the run game finally started to do something. I mean, Ty Montgomery with that 29-yard run, that was the first time that a running back in this preseason's gone farther than 10 yards.
Yeah.
And finally, we have a game where the fourth-string quarterback isn't your leading rusher, at least not to this point.
At the moment, he's not.
Taysom Hill's going to come in, and who knows, he might go crazy.
He could pick up some yards.
But it was good to see A, Montgomery play, to see him come back from not being able to play last week, and B, to have a breakout run. He was pretty fired up about it. That means a lot to these guys this time of year, that confidence building just to prove, hey, we're fine, we can do it.
And they didn't get him a ton of reps, but they got him in there enough for people to be able to see, you know, fans to be able to feel good about it, and probably for themselves to go, okay, we're seeing what we got here. We know it looks the way it's supposed to look. When he gets a hole, he can break it. He can do things.
And behind him, you got Jamal Williams, who's had a couple of nice plays, too. He's had a couple of nice screen passes in the flat, whether it be Hundley or even when Rodgers... Was he in with Rodgers? I can't remember if he was in with Rodgers at all.
Might have been one play. Rodgers just wasn't in for it.
I know, but he came in pretty quick. Let's say it was with Hundley then, but, you know, a couple dump-off passes or whatever if Hundley was under pressure, and he makes, you know, he makes a little bit out of nothing, which is nice to see. So he's starting to find some confidence. Depth chart seems to be moving around a little bit on those running backs as well. You saw Devontae Mays come in ahead of Jones, Aaron Jones. Could just be
could mean something, but maybe it doesn't. We'll have to see.
Well, because that's the thing. So far, the running game, it's been clear, right? It's been Ty Montgomery is your starter. Jamal Williams has clearly become your backup. But those other two guys, who are both bubble players to make this roster, those other two guys have kind of flipped a little bit. And it appears now that maybe Mays is more in the mix than maybe people thought.
Any thoughts on Rodgers? Obviously didn't get a ton of run. Only, I believe he was, 3 for 5?
3 for 5 with
12 yards. I mean, nothing to really take away.
Whatever.
Other than,
like, whatever.
Other than the fact, the only thing I take away from it, Rodgers fine. That they didn't want him out there much more than that just suggests that they're comfortable with him, and then also maybe not comfortable with the line being a little